Hey guys, it's Simon. I'm gonna be holding you guys today because it's just not feeling right now on the altar. Now that I have this, now that I've reset the altar for this year, um, one of the things I want to do is kind of treat it a little more sacredly, if that's a word. Ooh, uh-oh. Hmm, I don't know what I did. Boops. Um, and so I'm not gonna be putting you on there anymore because it just doesn't feel right. Um, it's a little messy around here. I don't know if you can tell, but I've kind of got some powder and stuff on me. I was making some powders, and I made my cleansing incense. Um, and the reason why I'm like putting all that together is just I'm hoping on starting the Etsy shop around the middle of November, and I'm not entirely sure yet if I want to just do the cards or if I'm gonna sell some things. But I'm just putting together what I can just in case. Now, as you can tell by the, oh my goodness, my hair's a mess. I'm a mess because I'm working with those powders and everything. I want to show you something. I hope you can see it, but all of this is, from me making the powders. I spilled it, I dropped one of the tubes and it just like spilled everywhere. So, it's officially been dirtied from its first spell work after what, 2 days? But speaking about spell work, that's actually what this video is going to be about. If you can tell, the title is called Spell. Um, it'll be called what it is on the here, but I'm having a brain fart and I can't remember what I was going to call it. Oh, spell flopping. This video. Well, I was planning on doing a video on this sometime later down the road anyway, but I decided to speed up on its delivery because I think it's Eden 1. I know that I know she goes by Eden on YouTube, so I'll link her channel below. But she was talking about in her witchy pity party video, I think that's what she named it. She was talking about how last saw when she did this spell for weight loss and it ended up not falling through. And she proceeded to ask about advice and about was there a specific way she should have gone about it or something like that. And basically saying that the spell didn't go through, and she was asking about some advice about that. Do forgive me if I sound like I'm a little out of it. I'm a little tired, and I plan on doing this video a lot earlier than I am, but I wanted to get it done just in case she uh, was to check out my channel and look for this video. I wanted to get it uploaded as soon as possible. But I was really in a groove with those powders, so I wanted to get them done. But now I'm a little tired and drained with all that magic and intention work. But um, okay, I'll do a suggestion to her situation first, and then I'll go into more detail about spell flopping in general. So, Eden, what I would have personally done with a weight loss spell, especially in regards to it wanting to be done all year round. You did mention about considering doing it for each Sabbat. I think that's a great idea. Um, I would have done something like that, or I would have done it like every quarter. So, both equinoxes and the solstices, I would have done it at the very least that much. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to stop my dog. He was chewing on himself. It's flea season still. It's like the end of flea season. So now, even though we've like treated them and everything, they still got the itches from the bites. Excuse me. But as I was saying, yeah, would have at least done it every quarter. Um, every Sabbat is a good idea. Something like with weight loss or anything that you want to do like for a whole year, or that's going to take you some period of time, you definitely want to, if you don't feel comfortable redoing the spell, doing like a feeding or a revamping of the spell to kind of keep it in motion and keep the energy in the direction that you want it to go in. So, oh gosh, I have powder on my face. So in the case of weight loss, I don't know what your spell was, but what you could do is you could repeat that, or maybe do like a simple chant or incantation of I don't know, I'm trying to think of something offhand. I'm something about like saying that you're set and focused on the goals, so that way the energy doesn't go stale or dissipate. You know, throughout life you'll have ebbs and flows of emotions, of energy. So you want to make sure that you're keeping it at a balanced, steady field, not too anxious where you're being fanatic about it, but not too slack either. So you definitely want to, like I said, I don't know what your spell is, so you'd have to figure that out in accordance to what I'm suggesting. But you'll definitely want to revisit it every so often. I probably wouldn't do it any more than every month, totaling to 12 times a year. So yeah, no less than 4 times a year for every solstice and equinox, and no more than 12 times a year. Like I don't know, maybe every full moon. You could do it every full moon. That would work well too. And if you wanted to do something in between that, maybe every Sabbat, um, that could work out too. So I do something around those 3 times in your situation. Now, in regards to spell flopping, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure there was a spell that I did that flopped, but I can't remember what it was right now. Most of the time when a spell flops, it's because of your intention. Um, Now that could mean one of two things. One, when you cast the spell, your intention wasn't there completely. You didn't focus enough on the spell, and or you didn't word it the way you really wanted it to happen. Another um, way a spell could flop in regards to intention is that maybe you lose the intention. That is usually the more common one, especially with extended spell work, like with the weight loss one. Eventually you can lose focus. As I said, the spell can go stale, and because you have people throughout your life. You have coworkers, you have family, you have friends. Especially when it comes to weight loss, you can have those temptations that can throw your energy and your focus off course, and then it ends up crumbling your spell work, and then you fall through, and then it ends up flopping. And if especially that will especially happen if you don't initially have a strong focus in the beginning when you set it in the first place, and then when you're not revisiting it and feeding it, or um, keeping it moving and guiding it in the direction that you want it to go in, it's almost set up for failure. I hate to put it that way, but I have to be really honest. So what are things that you can do about that? Like I said, you can revisit it, whether that means recast it or maybe just do like a little simple chant that keeps you focused. Um, you could also do daily affirmations. So like, I don't know, like, this is gonna be very vague, but an example could be like, my mind is set on the goals that I set for myself. Now that's again very general and very vague, but you could do something like that. So like, um, let me try and stick with the idea of weight loss. I am determined to get to my healthy weight. That could be something like that. Or I I choose to eat healthy so I can live happily. You could say something like that and do that every day. Just kind of, when you first wake up, just say that affirmation and help you keep your mind on your spell work. And a good way to do extended spells is to do candle work, so that way the candle is there in your face. You could do it in your bedroom, so that way when you wake up, you see the candle and it's like, oh yeah, the spell work that you're doing for your weight loss. And it can also remind you to revisit it every month or so, and then you can relight it or what have you, put in a new candle with new intention. If you don't want to do something like that, maybe this spell jar or something like that. I know I like to use. Hold on, I'm trying to. I like to use. Oh, please don't fall. I like to use my railroad dirt. Oh, that's gonna be backwards. I forgot. Um, but railroad dirt is good in keeping things moving. So if you did a candle spell, you could sprinkle a little bit around your spell work or what have you. Even if it's a jar spell or a bag, you can sprinkle it around there. And if it's a candle jar or bag, you can actually, on the day that you do the spell, you can sprinkle some inside the spell containing device. Let's put it that way, so we're not repeating ourselves. Trying to think, what else could you use if you don't have railroad dirt? You could make a powder. What I like to do with my powders, you can. A lot of powders are made with a base of flour or cornstarch, but I have found that the best base to use. It's gonna be backwards, so I'll read it to you. But it's arrowroot powder. And arrowroot powder, or rather, the arrowroot is associated with luck and success. And that would be great, especially, for any spell work. But in the case of weight loss, that'd be a great foundation. That's really what you want as your foundation for a lot of spell work. You want that luck and success. You want the spell to succeed. So you could use the arrowroot powder. I got mine at Walmart. I don't know if you're in the U.S. or not, but I got it with what was it? It was next to like the chia seeds and the flowers and all of that. I don't know if your Walmart's set up the same way or if you even have one, but I'm sure you could order off of Amazon or something like that. Maybe even Mountain Rose Herbs. And you can make yourself a powder, mix up some herbs that are good for weight loss. Cinnamon. Cinnamon's good for weight loss. It helps activate the metabolism. It's really good for people who have thyroid problems. You could also use turmeric. That's good for weight loss and overall health in general. And both of those come in ground form, so you could just buy the ground form, mix it with your arrowroot powder, and then you have a weight loss powder or wellness powder, whatever you want to call it, and you can sprinkle it around your spell work. Another thing about spell flopping, don't let it deter you. I'm sure every witch has had at least one spell flop in their practice. Like I said, I know I have. I don't know if I've had a spell like flop to completion where it hasn't done anything, but I know that I've had a spell flop in a sense where it did do something, but it kind of like counteracted and ended up not doing it to completion and kind of not seriously harming me, but did harm me to a certain point. So don't let it deter you. Don't let it make you feel like that that this is BS, that witchcraft isn't real, or that it's some fantastical dream. Don't let it make you feel like you need to leave the practice. Just study more. Just be patient with yourself. One thing that I've learned about being a witch and in life in general is having patience. The saying patience is a virtue, you have no idea. It's very important that you collect patience towards yourself and others. There's a hair on here, hold on. So that's something that's very important in regards to spell flopping. What else? Oh, revisit the spell. Maybe this is going to be kind of sketchy to talk about because it's a kind of a controversial thing, but maybe the ingredients you used were incorrect, and I say it that way because um, honestly, it's all about your intention. You could read all the books in the world and all the websites, and they could tell you this herb's used for that, that herb's used for this, and maybe you followed that, but maybe deep down inside, what they told you, you didn't resonate with. So your intention wasn't there, and so then the spell didn't go to fruition. Um, or maybe your intention was there, you did resonate with those herbs, meaning what they meant, but you've grown in your practice, and now those herbs don't have the same meaning, so then you lost the intention. So maybe you need to revisit the spell and reconstruct it. Now, Eden, in regards to your situation, it seems like you just needed to revisit the spell and kind of like feed it, so to speak, or like re revive it, so that way it didn't go stale. That's what it seems like happened in your case. But some people, they grow out of what they initially wrote. Their spell no longer applies to them. So you gotta always wanna be careful on solidifying your practice so quickly. That's why the Book of Shadows, Grimoire, Book of the Craft, whatever you call it, is a constant work in progress. It's something that's usually never completed, and especially when it comes to spell work, because your spells could change um, quite often. I know a few of mine have changed. Um, I guess I can say I'm lucky where most of my spells do stay the same and they do work as is, but not everyone's the same. Everyone's different, so you have to figure out your own practice. So I hope this video has helped you. I hope it's brought some advice. If I do have any more ideas in regards to spell flopping, I'll do a part 2, and I'll rename this as part 1 if that happens. But yeah, I hope this helped you, Eden, and good luck through your journey. Blessed be, dear.